More power outages in Europe, this time in the south of France. Guys, welcome to the channel, The Modern Survivalist. And yes, we're talking about straight away acts of sabotage. It is 2 acts of sabotage in just a couple days, and let's talk about that. Guys, as always, if you want to learn more about survival and preparedness, or in the right place without fear and paranoia, simply preparing for the world and the reality as it is, you have my channel and you have my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse, Street Survival Skills, as well as the Spanish and French version. By the way, if you're in France and you want to get prepared, you have the French version of my books too. And that's going to help you get a lot better prepared for everything that is happening and a lot more. Let's check this out.
Major power outage hit the city of Cannes in France on Saturday, disrupting operations on the final day of the Cannes Film Festival. About 160,000 households lost electricity after a high-voltage line fell on Saturday morning. The outage came just hours after a fire at an electrical substation had already weakened the grid. The Cannes Film Festival organizer...
So it's fires, and it's this, and it's that, and they said that a power line fell and started a fire. Eventually, they admitted that it was indeed an act of sabotage by some anarchist group, right? And not a lot more is known. But the thing you can pretty much put together is, these are not random attacks. This has been going on for a while. Anytime you see acts of sabotage against the infrastructure in Europe, there's usually going to be 2 sources. It's going to be China, and certainly it's going to be Russia. And sometimes it's going to be both. Sometimes it's either one. But the point is weakening Europe as much as they can. These acts of sabotage, either directly or indirectly, are done or financed by Russia. Especially Russia has a very clear interest in weakening Europe because, of course, it is invading Europe, so the weaker Europe is, the better it is for them. Second, suspected sabotage in France as power cut hits Nice. Second power outage in 2 days has hit the French Riviera region, which authority says was caused by a malicious act. Okay, malicious act. Police in Nice say tire tracks were found and the door substation in the west was broken accordingly. So they broke into a substation and burned it. Started a fire, right? Major blackouts. Organized, authorities said, investigation into organized arson has been opened. And if you pay attention, you see this in France. You saw the power outage in France and Spain as well, and Portugal. You saw power outages and problems with airports in London as well. Another substation that all of a sudden caught fire. Do you think it's always a coincidence? I lean more towards this, the latest version of, yeah, these are organized attacks. These are arson attacks, organized attacks, cyber attacks on the infrastructure. And not only that, you see this also with the cutting of cables in the Baltic, with the different financing of anarchists or anti-government groups. The idea is basically to create this sense, this feeling of instability, of fear, of things are not good, things are not going okay, things are not right, it's bad, everything is bad. It sounds like silly, but believe me, that's what they plan. That's why they do these things. The idea behind these acts of sabotage, you're not going to get any massive win. You're not going to conquer France by, having a blackout. But the more you do of this, the more you chip away at that stability, at that sense of safety that people have, the more animosity you create against the government, the more support you have for your own cause as time goes by. Right? This is in many ways similar to what happened with Brexit. The idea of, you're better off. They always try to screw you over, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden you are out of the economic group that gave you a lot of security and a lot of power in negotiation. And all of a sudden comes good old, in this case comes good old Trump and says, well, you know what? We now have to negotiate because you've been taking advantage of us. All right, that is not true, but whatever. What is it that we're negotiating? Well, these are the terms. And you don't have that weight anymore for negotiating with a somewhat stronger position. You're small. You're alone. You're not part of a group of other countries as well and all getting together. No, you're weaker and you will have to accept worse terms. I mean, it's common sense. It's really not at all complicated. But this is why you need to be very objective when you analyze these things. And where is the money coming from? Why is this environmental group in Germany that is against power plants, nuclear power plants? Why is this green, eco-friendly, lefty group financed by fucking Russia? Why is Russia financing eco-conscious climate change warriors? Well, because they're trying to screw you over. That's why. They want to create as much instability and insecurity as they can. And this is why we need to prepare. Wherever it is that you are, these are the moving parts that you need to consider and prepare accordingly. See you later, guys. Take care.